Hey guys, how are you all? Today I'm going to discuss something in which it could be quite controversial for some of you. It might get under your skin. However, it's a reality we have to face. Some of you out there will say you've got 20 years, 30 years, 15 years of sales experience. But have you? Really? Now the reason I'm asking you that is because of this. And really be honest with yourself now. You'll meet people in your business career, your entrepreneurial ventures that have 10, 20, 30, whatever many years of experience. However, they never seem to excel anywhere. They don't seem to achieve anything. They don't really get any results. But they will always, at the end of the day, wear the badge of experience, like it means something. We have to learn to question this experience at a deeper level. See for yourself, if you've had 20 years experience but you're still struggling to sell now, you've got to question why the hell you can't sell. What deep-rooted beliefs have you sustained over these years which are hindering you? But also, this is the fact, okay? If you've done the same thing over and over and over again for 20 years, you don't have 20 years experience. You have 1 year and you have repeated it 20 times over. Let me just repeat that because let that sink in. You do not have 20 years experience. You have 1 year that you've repeated 20 times over. Some of you right now might say, you don't know what you're talking about. But the reality stays true. Now, why I'm telling you this is, there's always time to change, always time to improve, alter and grow. I'm going to give you a real life example of how I saw this for myself. So when I first got involved in direct sales, I was sort of 18 and a half years old. Technically, on a experience level, my experience was minimal compared to all these other guys which were in the sales teams and in the operation which I joined. I think the youngest person was 45, so it would have been the same age as my dad, and the oldest person in their late 60s. They've all got this, experience behind them. Yet it was very interesting that when I first joined, admittedly, you could tell that I was inexperienced. However, over time, I began to match them on their results and then exceed them. And then I'm a person that likes to sort of dig deeper, and because that was an interesting variable for me, why is it that I could come in and make such a huge difference and outperform people that had more experience than I had life on that planet at the time? So I started digging deeper into that. And so then I was going, well, what has set me apart? Why am I getting better results than people that have more experience than me? And part of it, I believe, is the continual development of my skill. See, we all in business get to a point of comfort. We reach that level where we know how to make a particular thing happen and we stop. We seek no further knowledge. We seek no further growth. We hit that level of comfort. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if you're not getting the results you want now, this is the time to look at how comfortable you've been with your mediocre or average skill set. Maybe it's time to shake things up and start growing. Ultimately, the wisest man knows he knows nothing. So by that principle, we should never ever stop learning, growing, and seeking uncomfortable situations to grow from. It's not some cheesy thing, some wishy-washy thinking. It's the reality. It's how we learn. It's how you learn in the first place. You didn't become who you were now. You had to go. You formed for emotional experiences and things that you went through to learn what you know now. But just going back to this whole level of comfort, that's what I then saw was what set me apart. See, when I first got involved in direct sales, for the first 6 weeks, I didn't earn a penny. I went out every single day, 6 days a week, and I would do 2 to 3 presentations per day. I'd be covering 1,000 miles plus on my car, and I was not getting the result. So again, we could argue that was my lack of experience, but what I was doing in the background I wasn't just repeating the same thing over and over again. And this is what helped me step up beyond, everyone else. And what I'd done during those first 6 weeks was every single time I was driving to an appointment, where it'd typically be an hour to an hour and a half journey, I would download an audiobook. So I listened to a lot of, what was it at the time? Grant Cardone, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, and anything related to sales, because what I was doing was utilising my time and growing. When I was driving, I was listening to a closing technique that Grant Cardone said. Then I applied it. And actually, once it did actually work, and I was over the moon. Free time, I was again watching YouTube videos, reading books, practicing one-on-one in the mirror, talking in my mind the pitch, the presentation. When I was inside of the presentation, and a customer done that, I mentally made a note and said, right, don't say those phrases, or don't say that word, don't say that sentence again, because that got a negative result. Sorry, ignore the noise, my neighbours are building a shed or something. As I was saying, that anything that got a particular response, I would make note of it mentally and then also write it down after. So again, if I said something and they basically switched off, I would mentally say, right, do not say that again. If they opened up and started getting excited or relaxed or something positive, I made a real big note of that and was like, do that again and again and again. And before you know it, through this well-formed process, it allowed me to create myself in such a way that I accelerated past everybody else, because I consciously took the extra effort to apply myself and get myself out of my comfort zone. I felt ridiculously uncomfortable. Every presentation, every time I was doing something, it was, it wasn't a comfortable, nice, warm, fuzzy feeling, I can tell you that. But I saw beyond that and was like, right, what can I do to keep growing? And I've developed that and carried on with that for my entire life. But it's what allowed me, when I was 18, to be selling beyond people that had 20 years experience doing technically the same thing that I was doing. So again, be open to yourself and be honest to yourself. There is nothing great in waving this flag of, I have 20 years experience, like it means something. Because if you've not been true to yourself and you've not got out of your comfort zone, you've not developed and grown your skills, your mind, your ability, it's useless. Because ultimately, if you don't have the results to back it, then we know that what I said earlier is that you only do have 1 year experience repeated 20 times over. It's never too late to start over. In fact, you're not going to be starting over. You're just going to be building upon the foundation that you've laid. Get uncomfortable and seek ways to learn. Stop trying to find the way that always gets you the same comfortable result. Now, by the result, it doesn't always mean a sale or a win, but it gives you that level of comfort because you know the reality behind everything. Break it up. The reality is it's not going to work. There's some famous, I think Einstein quote or something, if we keep repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, that is the sheer definition of insanity. So look now how you can get uncomfortable. Seek discomfort. Download Audible, listen to some audiobooks, watch people who are expert in your field, learn, apply, listen, repeat. Listen to your customers more. See why you got results, see why you didn't get results. It's not a guessing game. You will get to a point where you can tell, once you've gone through this process of what to say and what not to say. It becomes a copy and paste. And that's all it is. Then you grow. You grow financially, but you have to go through the pain and keep looking at ways to upgrade yourself. Then, when you've done that every single year, then you can boast you have 10, 20, 30 years experience because you have gone through that. Going through 10 years, 20 years saying the same thing, getting the same average result, getting the same fed up attitude with yourself. Who cares? There's nothing to brag about. So again, my challenge to you is challenge yourself to get uncomfortable. You're at home. There's nowhere to hide right now. Get on YouTube, download an ebook, listen, learn, apply, watch the results change, and I'll see you guys